Welcome to Pokemon 3D Hacks number 4, Custom Pokemon. This one is a bit more complicated than any of the other ones because you have a lot more to change. First, if I open up my Pokemon, you'll see that I have Haxman, level 1 with a ton of HP, and he's got a lot of experience too. He's also holding a Pokeball. To do this, you go to your installation directory, open Pokemon, and go to Save. Open up your characters folder and find party.dat. Open it up, Notepad will work just fine. Here, your Pokemon has many different values. The very first thing is Pokemon. The number in the brackets is the ID of the Pokemon according to the national dex. Next is the experience. You can change this to whatever you want. Same thing as Pokemon. You can change that to whatever Pokemon you want it to look like, have its name. That changes what the actual Pokemon is. Egg steps. If you change this to a number while it's an egg, this will change the number of steps the egg has, so you'll be closer to hatching it. Item represents the item that the Pokemon is currently holding. If you saw I was holding a Pokeball, it's because the item I'm holding is 5, which is a Pokeball. You can change the nickname of your Pokemon here as well as the level. So if I change it to 2, you'll see in a second that I have indeed changed it to 2. This is the ID of the original trainer. This is the ability of the Pokemon. Most of these result in an ability that is still in development. Status is something such as faint or burn, similar things. So if your Pokemon was fainted, you could use this you could delete that to an empty value like this, and they will be revived. Here, nature, that's the Pokemon's nature. I have not tested anything with that. You can change the catch location here as well, and you can change the catch trainer. Here I've left it as my character's name. You can change the type of ball they were caught with. Here it says it's a Master Ball, and now I've changed it to a regular Pokeball. You can also change the catch method, and you can change their friendship. You can also determine whether or not they're shiny. 0 is regular, 1 is shiny. And here is the tough part. Here we have attack 1, attack 2, attack 3, and attack 4. In each attack there's 3 values. The first number represents the attack itself. The second number is the maximum PP of the attack. The third number is the current PP of the attack. If you look in the description, you'll find a document similar, or you'll find a list of attacks similar to this. This is an incomplete list that I've put together myself of many of the move IDs. So, if I want, for example, Vine Whip, I can put the number 22 in the first value for one of the attacks. So now, my Pokemon in attack slot number 1 will have Vine Whip. You can also change the stats of your Pokemon. For example, here, 212 is the current HP, and 214 is the maximum HP. That's pretty much all you need to know about modifying your Pokemon. If you're in your party and you want more Pokemon, you can simply copy and paste the entire thing and change it however you want. For example, I will have a whatever the first thing is. So now I have 2 Pokemon, both with the same stats and same moves, except one looks different than the other. Another thing you can do is modify your box from here. So if I copy and paste one of these Pokemon, this is almost all you have to do. But there is still one more thing you have to do. In front of Pokemon, you have to add which box you want. And this is a little bit different than you might expect, because if you want something in box 1, you put down 0. So basically you put the box minus 1. And then after that, after a comma, you put the slot in the box that you want. It starts at 0 and goes up to 29. So if you see here, I put 0, that's the first slot in the box. And then you put a comma after that. and I'll demonstrate putting something in the last slot. So now I have a Pokemon in slot 1 and a Pokemon in slot 30. In this case, it looks like it's 0 and 29. If I go back to Pokemon now, if I quit and continue, if you look at my party, you'll see I do have indeed 2 Pokemon with the same stats and same everything, except for the way they look. His experience is high as well, and his nature is adamant. If I open up the PC, you'll see in box 1 that I have a Pokemon in the first slot and a Pokemon in the last slot. If you look at the moves of my Pokemon, you'll see that it does indeed have Vine Whip as I've specified.